To the cloud. All right, so welcome back, everyone. This is our final session. This is the final session centered around monetizing and leveraging your book into higher ticket items. Okay, so this section is around how to make your first $10,000 from your book, even if you give that book away for free. Even if you give the book away for free. All right. So that's our goal for this particular session. Now, what I need for you all to do is I want you all to really kind of think outside of the box, if you will. I want you to really kind of realize that you may think about some things a little bit differently than you had before. And that's okay, right? That's okay. There's a lot of different possibilities, a lot of different ways that this can happen. And our job right now is going to be, if you want to use your book to leverage into higher ticket items. Not everybody even wants to do that, right? But if you do want to use your book to leverage into higher ticket items, then our job is to help you find the path to do that that's going to fit your personality and the way you want to show up in the world. All right. So let me tell you how this came about real quick, because as you all know, when I first published my book, I wasn't really going for money. That wasn't really the big thing. You know, I'm much more focused and strategic now, but in the beginning, I was looking at like book sales. So when I went to that first conference, I was like, okay, you know, I thought that being a bestseller meant you sell 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 books, and that's where it's going to be at. Like, that's going to be the goal, right? So when I was at the conference, I was like, okay, you know, really not the conference, but the year. I was like, if I sell 5,000 books at $6 profit each, you know, then I make $30,000. And I was like, yeah, you know, that sounded really, really dope to me. But then after I started speaking and getting paid speaking engagements, I realized something, and it was a little bit different. You know, I realized that it took a lot less energy to get one $2,000 speaking engagement than it was for me to sell 2,000 books. It was a lot less energy for me to get one $2,000 speaking engagement honorarium than it was for me to sell 2,000 books. So after my first job, you know, at my first job, I was making $36,000 a year working in international development. And then when I switched and started getting paid $2,000 to speak, I was like, whoa, you know, like this is really something. So I realized that it's way bigger than just book royalties. All right. Like the income that you can make from your book is way bigger than just book royalties. So my book started attracting opportunities, and I could get big results with few sales. So now I'm going to go through some different ways that you can use this same process of getting few sales, but big results. And while I'm going through these different ways, I want you all to think about how you like to show up. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Now's the time to dig deeper. How do you want to show up if you want to use this to leverage first? So I'm actually curious, before I get into these, who here wants to leverage their book into their first 10,000 and beyond? Is that even a priority for you? I'm just curious. I'm going to go through the training anyway, but I'm just curious if that is or not.
It is. Let's
Okay.
check out the air.
Definitely one of my goals.
Okay. Awesome. I wonder about Dr. Alexis. So let me know for, yeah, you and Selwa and Dr. Alexis, you gotta type it into the chat and let me know if that is, you know, because again, everybody has different goals. So out of this, you're gonna take what is good for you and then apply it. Take what's good for you and then apply it. So have you, like, I remember we talked about this a little bit, but are you going to be leveraging this?
I'm kind of undecided. So I don't know, like that, like, you know how you said some people fear success. I'm that type of person because it does give me anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
I sometimes I feel like I'm not going to have a choice. I don't know.
You always have a choice, and then you'll find that different things come in different ways, right? So I'll go through it and then we'll see. We'll go see. All right. So we're going to go through some examples. All right. So here's a book called The Art of Japanese Catering, right? The Art of Japanese Catering. That book is geared towards Japanese caterers, not just like a general home person that wants to, you know, learn how to make a dish for one evening, just to be like, hey, I made this Japanese dish. It's really on the art of Japanese catering. So the author created a course for Japanese caterers. This is a business training that they created. It's a $2,500 online course for Japanese caterers who want to learn how to supplement and improve their Japanese catering skills, right? So how do you get your first 10,000 with this program is that you have 4 students that sign up for your first $10,000. Now, let's go to the next one. So what's this? This is an online course, okay? Online kind of business related course for that one. Now, here we have graphic design. So let's say this goes from the book, and then what are the actions that they want people to take from this book is they want them to come into a membership program for graphic designers. So it's a membership program. They give accountability to each other. They share tips. They, you know, partner up. They get maybe discounts on different softwares and things like that. So to be in this membership program, they pay $97 a month. The person has 100 members and they get $9,700 a month, right, from that program. You can scale these up or down, okay? You can scale these things up or down. This particular person wanted a business that they could do sustainably, right? That they could do this business sustainably, and that's the only thing they do, right? That's the only thing that they do. And they have, you know, a 6-figure business a year just by running this membership program. The price range is hard for me. You can scale it up or scale it down, scale it up or scale it down. But trust me and believe that for you, yes, I can see where like your audience may not be able to do certain things, but $9.70, you know, a month, right? So let's take it by 10%, $10 a month. All right. So if I have a group that's $10 a month and they are group that's $10 a month and it's 100 people in my group, then that's $1,000 a month that I'm bringing in from that particular program. Right. So $1,000 a month, maybe I do it for the year, you know, that's my extra $10,000 that year. All right. So now here's this guy, Russell Brunson. He's not one of my clients, but Russell Brunson has a book and he used this book. Let's see, just want to make sure. Okay, so he used this book to build up his software company. So he has a software company, just like Microsoft Word or Excel or whatever. It's a software company. And then he utilized these books talking about entrepreneurship to engage people into using his software. The software costs anywhere from $97 a month to $297 a month. And that has now led him to having an over $100 million company. So the book attracts people to him and his philosophy. They learn his techniques. Then they use his software. They pay for the software. And that is how he built his company. All right, so back to the speaking stuff, right? So if you get paid a $2,000 honorarium, you do 5 talks a year, then you have your first $10,000, right? Your first $10,000. You can say $200 a talk and you do 5 talks a year. So that would be your first $1,000, right? Or maybe you do 5 talks every 3 months or something. So that would be 5, 10, that would be 5, 10, that would be about 5,000. That would be, about 3,000, right? So you scale these up, scale them down, scale them up, scale them down, okay? But I'm telling you, you probably are undercharging too. More than likely, many of you all are also undercharging. So here's one of my clients, Kivani. She did a book on prosperity coaching and her life and memoirish stuff, right? And so then she went from the book and she attracts people into her coaching. Her VIP days cost $3,000. So she has four people in her VIP day. She has her first $12,000, right? All right. Now, here's a bowler. So he's a bowler. He has a book called 300, How to Bowl a Perfect Game. And then he wanted to do workshops from that. So how does this $10,000 break down for him? So he has 10 monthly workshops that he does. Every month, he has 20 people that come to his workshop. They pay $50 to be at the workshop. So that is $1,000 every month for the workshop. And he does 10 workshops a year because he's taking off Christmas and he's taking off his honey's birthday month, you know, so he does just 10 months a year. And so that's his $10,000 extra that he is getting a year, right? That he's giving a year. That's his little extra play money that he uses for his hobbies and, you know, all of his other things that he wants to do. So we're going to pause here for a second. I want to see if this is making sense for you. I'm going to answer some of the questions before we get into your stuff. And then we're going to see what we're going to do for you. If this is something you want to do, even if it's not full time, you just may want to make an extra $2,000 a year. And then what would you do with that? Maybe that's your vacation fund. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's your scholarship fund for the kids. Maybe that's your donation fund. You know, you got a charity or something. I don't know what you want to do with the extra money, but you may be able to scale it up. Those of you who want to build a full business, you're going to maybe do some additional things and scale it up. Those who just want to do this on the side, you figure out what you want to do. All right, so let me answer the questions. The people who need it often can't afford a large monthly subscription, or maybe they can, and I'm just afraid to charge that much. You know what? I used to think people couldn't afford stuff all the time. They can't afford this, they can't afford that. One of my friends the other day told me that she couldn't afford to go to this trip, right? She was like, oh, that's expensive, right? She couldn't afford to go on this trip. And then, like, I think it was like a week later. No, I'm mixing up the dates. Anyway, she said she couldn't afford to go on this trip or whatever. And then sometime later, she was doing a review on this luxury purse that cost $1,500, right? So the purse was $1,500. And she was saying she couldn't afford to go on this trip. So I was like, it's not that you can't afford it. It's just you have a different priority. People have different priorities, right? And so for people who want what you have and they're willing to invest in themselves, they're going to invest and they're going to put forward what is necessary. So it's not that she didn't have the money, she just didn't want to put it up for that, right? Same thing with people who are always getting luxury cars or, you know, gadgets, you know, always got the latest phone, but they can't afford this or whatever. People are going to pay for what they need. People are going to pay for what they want. They're going to pay for what they value, right? So your job is not to really count their pockets. Your job is to make sure that your transformation is good. Your stuff is good, that you're hitting, and that people get value. All right. So you charge a smaller amount, Sharenda. That is crazy. Cannot imagine that, Sister Serena, but I know it's happening all the time. Okay. Is there a way to research what, is there a way to research what other people in your area charge? So first of all, you never want to you can always do market research and see what other people are doing out there. There are people that do what I'm doing with you right now, and their weekend workshops are like $10,000. Like there are people that they're doing very similar things where it's to come to a weekend thing is like $2,000. Why? Why would somebody pay that? Because they know if they take one of those things and they implement, then they can get $10,000. So I'm going to pay $2,000, but I'm going to get 10, right? It's like all about what value people place on their certain things. So you're always going to have people in your industry that are on all spectrums. I can go and buy a purse from Walmart for $25. A purse that's got a zipper on it, it's got a, you know, thing to drop in. I can go buy that purse from $25. Or I can go to the Louis Vuitton store and buy another purse. Like which one, like both of them, I can carry my wallet in, both of them can carry my phone, both of them can carry everything, right? So why would somebody go pay for this Louis Vuitton or whatever, or this Coach or whatever, when they can just go to Walmart, right? It's because of the value of what they perceive of it. And then also like how it makes them feel. they're in that case purchasing status. That's the transformation they want to have. They want to have status. They want people to look at them, a certain way. That's part of the reason why they're buying that, right? For most of us, our transformations are bigger than that. Like somebody may hire Selwa to come in and do a talk on Yemeni American relations or Arab American literature or whatever, because they want to be culturally diverse. They want to seem like they're a community, not seem, but you know what I mean? They want to have their community be exposed to things that they have never been exposed to before. When I started doing my beautifully wrapped workshops, I first did them for free. I used to do little impromptu tutorials in the bathrooms at restaurants and stuff like that. Then that led to me doing after school programs and things like that. I still volunteer and do some of those. But then that led to me getting flown over to Dubai to do a workshop there. So they paid for the airfare. They paid for the honorarium. They paid for all my food. So why would they spend $5,000 on me to come all the way over there? It's because I am not just a head wrapper. I'm a professional. I'm an expert. I'm an anthropologist, right? So I have extra things that elevate me from somebody else. When Selwa puts her book out, she's just not going to be a regular Yemeni American like from Hamtramck or whatever. Now she's like an expert in this area. She gets to share her own personal perspective. And she doesn't have to be an expert on everything that happened in Yemen. She is an expert in her own life. She's an expert in her own, experiences. And she's an expert, of course, in the book that she puts forward. So don't ever feel like your experiences are discounted or you're not an expert enough to charge at a certain rate. You have to, if you're going to go into this for business, this is not a business like talk, but I'm just sharing with you right now. If you're going to go into this for business, you have to value yourself. You have to know your worth. You have to know your worth. You have to know your worth. And you can't cheapen yourself. There are times when I would charge, I still do this sometimes though, I'm not even gonna lie, because I undercharge a couple of people. But like there are times when I would have somebody, I'm doing their book or whatever. And when I actually map it all out, like I only made, a couple of $100 for like a few months of work or something, right? And that stuff will breed resentment in you. It breeds resentment, and it's only your fault because you set the price, like you set yourself up for failure. So you got to know your worth, and you also have to know, like, how much do I need to make per hour in order for this to be justified, for me to take this project on or whatever. Like if I'm putting, 50 hours into this or 60 hours into that, like what is the value of my hours, right? So you have to be able to know yourself, and you have to be able to set your stuff high. Not high, but set your stuff at the value of what it's worth. So people typically will pay what they will value, like what you value. So if you value yourself, they're going to value you, and you're not going to be for everybody. If you undervalue you, they'll just meet you where you at, so it's up to you. And guess what? Even when you undervalue yourself, you're still going to have some people that may complain. You still may have some people that may complain or whatever. So that's a whole rant on another aside. But let's see for you all if you see anything within here. So here we have the monthly workshop, right? Doing like 20 people every workshop, $50 each, so that's doing one workshop a month. That's this model. Here we had the VIP days. So she works with a small exclusive set of people, and she works with them very, very deeply. So her people gladly pay her $3,000 a day to work. And so if she just has 4 clients a month, then that's her $10,000. And this chick makes bank. All right, here's $2,000 honorarium, 5 talks a year, your first $10,000. If you want to just do speaking, you don't get paid for the TED talk though. I probably should change that picture because TED, you don't get paid for that. But software, $297 a month. It's a monthly thing, right? So $97 or a month or $297 is how much the software costs, and that's where he went. Membership program. So this is like members all over. They have a portal, like they meet or whatever. $97 a month, 100 members. this online course for Japanese caterers, right? So let's see if you see something that is a good fit for you. So I want you to think about it for yourself and see what could be your what's next. I want you to pick one first, one model. Don't say, oh, I can do this on Tuesdays and then this on, like, I want you to pick just one model that you want to try and that you're going to go for first. Once you get that model down and you have some success with that, then you can add some other stuff later. But I want you to get one thing first. So let's talk it out. Selwa, we're going to come to you first. So what do you see, or do you see anything in here that may be good for you, whether you want to transition later on or if you just want to supplement in order to donate to Yemen or something? Are you talking? Hold on, let me see. Is it my thing?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute.
Okay, uh-huh.
I like looking at these, I feel like there's so many paths that I can take. Which one am I gonna choose? I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, all of them sound feasible. So I am interested in charity work. So that could be one thing that that could be one path that I might take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like you said, like we're experts in our own lives and our own experiences, and we can share those. We don't have to be experts in everything. I thought that was valuable. And I can see doing something like that where I can speak about the Yemeni American experience and the importance of having Yemeni American or Arab or Muslim literature, you know, to represent us out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but like I can like for me, like growing up, I never had that choice. I never, like, I was always proud of my culture, my heritage and everything. But then I never had anything to reference. Like there weren't any books that represented my culture. You know what I mean? In school or wherever. So I was always bored at school, to be honest with you. Like when we learned history, it wasn't history that I could connect to. Like, you know what I mean? When we read stories, I couldn't connect to a lot of the characters. And that's why I always disengaged. There was nothing to tie me to whatever lesson was being taught. And I'm sure it's like that for many kids in other minority groups, but that's how I felt. And then like, and if I did try to talk about my background, my culture, my history, you know, just to show the other side of it or the positive side of it, people didn't understand, you know, because they're not used to it. So I always felt like an outsider, you know. So, and that's why I decided to write this book, because I wanted our kids to feel included, to feel like there's something out there that represents them. They have books to reference, they have books to learn from about their own identity, so they're able to explain themselves to other people. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. I love your why. I almost wanted to take a mark. So this is like 35, I think, minutes into the third recording. So you should kind of write that down for yourself, because you may want to go back and just like transcribe that part that you said. You know, you kind of talked about your experience, and that leads to why you're doing this. Those things are really, really, really important. I'm constantly thinking of when you all are doing your marketing, and I'm constantly thinking of when you're doing interviews. Like when people, I see each of you, you know, getting interviewed about your stuff, right? And they're going to ask you, well, why do you want to do this? You know, so later on, you know, we work with our students to kind of come up with little paragraphs and little statements. So you're not thinking all that stuff on the fly, like you've thought about it before. And then when they ask you, I'm going to tell you what I've already thought about, right? So it's preparation. but what you're talking about is really important. But how do you feel about, I'm trying to figure out for you, like, how do you feel about accepting money for this?
Oh, money is always good.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Of course, I'm not gonna turn it down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And going into this, I didn't really think about these things, really. I was just passionate about the topic and I wanted to get it out there. But now you're helping me see like there are so many different opportunities. And of course, I mean, yeah, I mean, if I can make some extra money, why not? You know, I'm helping at the same time.
yeah, of course. Do you still have your other business, the Yemeni dress business?
Yeah, we still have, it's for me, it's me and my sister. Yep, we still have it.
So honestly, you don't have to create any other what's next other than what you already have. Like you can use this same thing to drive additional traffic to that business. If that's like your passion for the business side, what you already have and you want to build it up or, you know, get more dresses sold or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you can use, this can also be a driving force for that. So the
So
other,
yeah,
mhm,
those
go ahead.
outfits, they're for rent. They're not to be sold. They're for rent. I mean, I guess we can down the road start selling them, but we brought these traditional Yemeni clothes and the silver jewelry and the different necklaces, you know, just all types of jewelry for Yemeni brides. So
Oh my
here,
God. Sorry, hold on.
yeah.
So you know I have an exhibition, right? That they pay
That's
to rent.
crazy.
Yes. They pay to rent my exhibition, my head wrapping exhibition. This chick just called me from California the other day and wants me to send some like wrap some stuff out there, right? So when you said rent, it made me think about this. But there's just another possibility for you that, hey, like this is the book, and then there's also a companion exhibition that is going to be rented to schools so they can put the exhibition up there
Oh my God.
with the dresses and the jewelry, and this and this or whatever. They have this exhibition that goes along with the school. And then maybe, yes, you come in and the author comes in and talks, about it. But the exhibition would be super duper dope. And because I started doing that more now, and I have another friend that's an expert, he's actually going to be one of my guest speakers. He's going to talk about how he built up his museum. He has a Black History Mobile Museum. He has thousands and thousands of artifacts that he has collected. And he's on the road. I can't live like him. Like he's a man, got kids, but can still go every weekend, like that type of life. Moms, we can't do that. But he built up this museum, and so I think that would be an amazing way to make money from this.
Yeah. So even like when we do the book launching, I was thinking of having the exhibit.
Yes, for sure. You should have the exhibit, and then the exhibit is perfect for you because it doesn't actually take a whole lot of your time. I feel like you may not want to add, a whole bunch of extra stuff you're teaching, whatever. So like monitoring the exhibit, once you can have a year. I used to work in exhibits before. This is where it's all coming from. But you can have a year-long tour, right? That is even getting set up, early, where it's going to be a month at this school. And then over here, it's going to go for a month at this school. And then you set your rental price.
Wow.
For thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like that is bomb. Like that is like a natural.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about this.
Yes.
Let me just finish the book.
Yes, I can get ahead. So just like bring me back. Like, look, chick, I'm supposed to be bringing you back, but
I know.
Yeah.
I'm on cloud 9 now.
Yeah, but you already have the materials. That's why it's natural,
Yeah.
and it's something you can mention to people and see, but you already have it. You don't have to go buy anything. It's already, it's already there.
Yeah. And one of my sisters, she does decorations, like table designs and for weddings and different things. So she can help me out with that.
Yes, for sure. Awesome. Great. So your what's next as of right now, I want you to leave today with something. So your what's next as of right now is going to be the exhibition. Yep. I would say that.
I think that's easier for me.
Yeah.
I already have everything.
You already got it. Yep. Okay, awesome. All right, Sharanda, what's next? Or let's talk it out if you need to. Like, what are you feeling? What's next going to be? I know you teach. I know you're a principal. Like administration.
Oh, child. The nurturing, giving part of my head has a hard time with this part. If I'm being honest. But not because I don't believe that people can find a way or make a way. I don't know. Like, I just have a hard time doing it. I see myself being able to do both. Like, I've done speaking engagements before.
Moody, I need my phone.
But I have never charged more than like $100. I can see myself, so in my mind, it makes more sense to do some type of workshop or some type of gathering of people to solidify or to validate the speaking engagements. If that makes sense. I'm working very, very, very hard to get out of the way of how, like, but like not being the person who's like, oh, I did it. It came from a good place. It's intended to help people. So God is just gonna give it feet and make it grow. But I don't know. Like, I know that for my own social, Desmond, get back, close the door. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I know that for my own social group, many of the things that I talk about and discuss like have helped friends and family be a thought partner through it. I just, I'm like, I don't know. We'll see how beneficial it is to people who don't necessarily know me. And maybe part of it is my own thing. Like I have trust issues. So I don't necessarily believe everything that I see advertised. Like, I feel like a lot of people say that they can do things, but I'm always leery to subscribe or participate because I don't know them. I don't know if they really can. And so maybe part of my own personal style of validating if people are reputable is hindering my movement. But I do see going the workshop model being probably the route that is more fitting for who I am. And then it will also be easier for me to not have to charge such a large price. Because whatever the intended goal is or whatever the intended amount is, like I can split that up amongst people. It's still the same amount of work, but like now whatever that dollar amount is that I want to make, I can split amongst multiple people and I feel like I am charging one person $1,000. And I don't know, like hopefully I will get over that crutch and that mindset. Maybe it will take work in the entrepreneurial culture to like remove some of those barriers. But those are like, I know a lot of it is just like my own hangups, and part of it is the demographic that I work with a lot, right? Like most of the demographic that I work with for parents and children are exactly what you described. Like I spend an absorbent amount of time filling in the necessity gaps of children whose parents bought them Jordans instead of stocking the refrigerator for the month. Like it's ridiculous. But yeah.
There's a couple of things here. One is that you're a good soul person, right? Like you're a good person. And a lot of times, like good people, we sometimes will actually put ourselves underneath the needs of other people. We will put ourselves second or third or fourth or fifth because we see that somebody else needs something and we want them to get ahead. We want them to get what they need, but we will martyrize ourselves, right? We'll martyrize ourselves. And what I had to learn for myself was that like there has to come a shift where good people who are going to do good things with their money actually have money. Like good people should have money, not just that old guy that is a banker that's like stealing money from people and he has tons of money. You know what I mean? Like good people need to have money, because you can't even do the good that you want to do in the world if you don't have any way of financing it. We can't always, the good people like us can't always be the ones, hey, I'm doing a drive. I'm trying to give some stuff to the kids this week. Like I need to raise, $2,500. I need to do this. Like we can't always be the one that's trying to raise this money from other people. We need to be able to finance our own projects and things that we want to put. And the only way to do that is by being able to be paid well and worth what it is that what we're doing, So I have, a couple of people with this whole thing of like, what's transformation worth? Like, what is a transformation worth? Some things you can't even put an actual amount on. I'll give you a case in point. Last week in the Power Author Academy, one of the students who is working on the memoir, right? So she's working on the memoir. She's in my program. So she invested in my full year-long program, right? She's in that program. She's working on a memoir. She also has been like kind of estranged from her family, right? So she has her mom and she has her daughter. I think she has 2 or 3 daughters or something. So as a part of her book, she needed to ask her mom some questions about her life, right? So she hasn't been talking to her daughter for, I think she said like several years. She and her daughter just don't have a relationship at all. She called the mom to ask for some information about her life that she can use for her book or whatever. When she called the mom, the daughter was there. The daughter was there, and she had a short conversation with the daughter at that point. And then later on, they had a longer conversation. And she said that now, like she and her daughter are on the road to healing their relationship. Like literally transformed her entire family, right? So if I were to try to say, well, how much would you pay for that? Like how much would you have paid for that? Would you pay $500 for that? Like, was that worth $20 for you? Like, it's inconceivable. Like literally is life-changing. It's priceless. It is absolutely priceless. You can't even put a value on certain things. And most of the things that we're doing, you actually can't really put a monetary value on what they're worth, we're trying to put a value on our own time and what we're providing, but the transformation that the people get from what it is that we're doing in all of our cases, in every single case here, is like priceless. It's absolutely priceless. You can't even put a value on it, So one of the shifts that has to happen is, one, we have to be comfortable accepting money for our gifts. Lots of times as women, and as women of color, all of us here are women of color, we are used to doing many different things, and you only really get paid for something if you do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I gotta do this, and then I can get paid then I feel like I'm justified to get paid for something. We aren't even used to being paid for our knowledge per se. It's like, well, that comes second nature to me, or I'm just talking, or I'm just sharing, or whatever, right? But you're literally changing people's lives, but that stuff you don't really value. You don't even think that's even worth anything. Like, you didn't change this whole chick life for the rest of her life, but that's not really worth nothing, Like, oh, I was just talking to her. I just talked to her for 30 minutes and she had a whole aha moment that changed her whole life. And you're like, I should have charged her $5, or maybe 30 minutes, I should have charged her $15,
Zarina, have you done writing PDs for school districts?
Mm-mm.
You should think about that.
I don't even know what that is. What is that? Writing
PDs,
what?
like professional development for teachers.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
They pay a lot of money. And sometimes they bring in people, like sometimes I'll go through a PD and I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I got so much more out of this today, yesterday and today,
Mm-hmm.
than I do from so many professional developments.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's, maybe that's something that you want to look into. I don't know how your schedule is or what your interests are, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I got so much out of this, and I'm already thinking to ask you to come because I teach a study skills class, struggling students,
Mm-hmm.
and they struggle with writing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to write at all. And I was like, wow, if you just went over that with them, the brain dump, the what was it? The brain
Oh my
dump.
God, you should know.
No, I got it. Brain dump, right? No, outline, right. Brain
Yes.
dump, outline, right. I
Yes,
still
yes.
remember. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a path for you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. I'm always looking for ways that God can use me. Do you remember when Oprah, she used to have this prayer? I use it in some of my stuff sometimes, but she had this prayer, like it was like, God use me, right? Like, God use me. And I really feel that is where I am and where all of us are. Like, we want to be used. However, we don't want to be used up, like, meaning like we just give, and then we end up suffering. I don't want any of us to create anxiety programs or headache money or things that are going to be making our life more difficult. Like, this is why I call my business a freedom business and a lifestyle business, meaning I'm going to Mexico on Sunday. I'm leaving. I'll be gone for 2 weeks, right? I couldn't do that if I was in a different way. If I had my stuff set up in a different way, I couldn't make an impromptu decision like that, to go and do something. So I've created my business to fit what I need, like my lifestyle. I want to be able to go at the drop of the hat. So it needs to be able to work, like that. I need to be able to control my own schedule. So I want all of us, not everybody cares about that though. So it has your business or whatever you do, your life. I don't care if you start a business or not, but I want your life to be conducive. I know this is outside of the book. I get it. Like, you're like, I just came here to talk about the book. I get it. But I just want your life to be conducive to your spiritual well-being, to your mental well-being. And I want you to have all the good things, that you deserve in life. And sometimes it requires us to make a shift, even to write this book. You're going to have to readjust your time to promote the book. You're going to have to readjust your time. You're going to have to train the people around you, like, hey, I'm doing things differently. And because they have known you for so many years in this one way, this one personality, this one way of operating, sometimes the people who are closest to you don't really see that vision that you talked about yesterday. They don't really see that new thing that is achievable for you, but they may not see it as achievable because they know how you used to be, or they know this way, they know how you acted before. And so when you're creating like new paths for your life, sometimes you got to like fake it till you make it. You got to show up for yourself because everybody else may not get it. They may not get it. So you may say, okay, well, on Sundays, I'm going to be writing from 6 to 7 p.m. Like, that's my writing time. And they're like, well, you used to watch this show, so I could just bust in the door. It doesn't really matter. You're like, no, Sunday, 6 to 7 is my time. You have to sometimes train the people who are closest to you. And don't even get mad or upset or whatever if they're not like your biggest cheerleaders for your cause and your stuff. Not everybody's going to be your biggest cheerleader right out the gate. So it's your job. Honestly, it's your job. It's my job. It's each one of our jobs individually to do the things that we say we want to do. Nobody else is going to have our dreams and our goals ahead of us. You know what I mean? Like they may support and stuff, but it's our job to drive those things. So when you're thinking about these, what next? This is two things. One, you get to be a tester and you get to try and see, what feels good for you. If you're not quite sure yet, because you've always worked in corporate America or something, you've never really done anything with people, you may try a one-to-one, like Kivani, working with one person a day. You may try that. That was the $3,000 VIP day, girl, right? You may try that and you find like, you know what? I don't really like working with just one person a day. I like working in a group. I like the energy and stuff. So then you don't do that anymore. You switch and you go into this other realm. So I'm going on a whole long tangent, but it's not like all about business, but I hope that you all like get what I'm saying, because all of us have the ability to design it the way we want to do it. And we can do that through testing, trial and error, figuring things out until we find the one way that is really, our way. Okay. So that was Sharanda. And then, so what about Dr. Alexis? I wonder if she's still here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
I just cut the screen. But
Okay.
everything. And like she said, because I work in the public school system, sometimes I'm a private contractor, and they do have a lot of continuing education type programs for you. What like curriculum I've been witness to it. They don't offer much, but they're supposed to be building character of like teachers and just facilitators that work with children. So they always kind of try to get you to take classes with people who are the professionals that come in, but not going to bash any businesses, but it is something you should probably look into, because I guess because you are free and you're not tied to it, you have a different flavor, because it's not a burden. And that's what a lot of people forget. And that's why I like this program, because you're reminding us, create a book that's a business that you enjoy. You wake up in the moment and you're happy doing it, because it comes across as a person that's happy. And anybody will support you when you are happy and you love what you do. And that's from day one. Like when I write my review, for your future students, I'm going to tell them to stay true to you. You might meet people in the course that you think, oh, they got their plan together, but that's their plan. That's their idea. You have to stay true to your concept, your personality, because that's what's going to work for you. And people are going to buy into you. And that's what I did. If I could have like a minute to say something to someone, because I wanted to say it for a long time, but with this Yemen, I don't know anything about Yemen. I don't know any Yemen people. I see them, I eat their food, but it would be a pleasure to read something from someone from there, unadulterated, unblended. Like, you don't have to integrate into the whole American culture or anything like that. You can stand alone and create your own lane. And I think that's beautiful, because when we first started, that's what you were saying. And then I saw it kind of got integrated and mixed up a bit. But I think the expert said the best thing. She said, you can go into the school systems with the clothing, the books. I love that. Staying true to just Yemen. Like, you don't have to integrate. It's already out there. When Sister Zarina pulled up the group, it was actually called that, the Arab American, I forget the exact name, but what you're trying to do doesn't exist yet. So that's a plus, because I wanted to learn about you, or if I was a young girl here who was born in America, but my mom was from Yemen, I might want to understand why she acts the way she acts, you know, like that's beautiful. And it's kind of like we all remember the Diary of Anne Frank that they make you read. Your book kind of reminds me of that, because this is, you're going to teach people about, and Anne Frank is fiction, it's like not real. It's a lot of stuff in it that's accurate, but then there's stuff that's made up to keep the story going. So I honestly believe that like your book is awesome. So I know I was supposed to answer a question about me, but I mean, my book like is like so simple. So I mean, I actually am going to take what I learned here and put it into my autobiography type book when that, you know, I finally get to that. But I needed to get into writing. So, you know, this is good for me because I have a lot of people I meet who after I meet them, they start businesses similar to mine, or they start selling products. And I mean, they're guessing. So I just want to be able to hear, you know, you can do this. Don't think, because once they see the book, they don't have to hide. Some people go in hiding later with products. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, I could care less if you're making whatever, you know, that doesn't define me. I'm not products, you know, but it's just, we all have to have a resource to make money. Money is very important. And what I'm gathering from what I've learned from the book, and I'm gonna write it in the review, don't focus on making money off the book. You build who you are, and the book is an attribute of you. Like, it's an attribute, it's an addition that can bring you money, but you have to focus on who you are and building your character, and that will propel you into different revenues of making money, like different fields of making, avenues of making money. But you first got to identify your clients with who you are. Like, people who buy your books are clients. We can't look at them as just book customers or purchasers. These are potential clients, you know. So I just love everything I learned, and I love meeting new people. And I'm a person that I'm an avid learner. I love to learn. I love to explore. I wish I could travel with Sister Zarina. I really do.
Anytime.
I have freedom in my life, so I can pick up and go. You know, it's inspiring. I love positive women. I love being around people who are doing something.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like everyone on this call, we had the best teacher. Now it's time for us to know that she is, and get out here and make our books work. You know, we have to write these books. You don't just take a course just to take a course. You take a course because you want to do what you took the course for, and to honor and respect the person that took it. Even if you paid money, that's an investment, you know. You have to get a return on your investment, you know. So we have to write these books and stay true to ourselves. And, you know, don't be the person who took a course and didn't write the book, because she ultimately wants to say, I had 3,000 published books from people who took my courses, you know. So we have to do this. You have to dig in yourself and stay true. We all have, and just the fact that even with Sister Sharonda has a different concept, Sister Hada, we all have a different concept. We need to stay true to our initial thought and go in and synchronize it to make the book easy to read, you know, but full of adventure too. So it was wonderful meeting you ladies, and that's it. I don't have anything else to say.
You go. Like, I feel like I should have a mic, bing, and drop it. Like,
That was
yes,
nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
that was beautiful.
Alhamdulillah.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. You know, first of all, I thank you all. I thank all of you. You know, we still have a little bit more, but I thank all of you all for being here and for showing up, and for showing up fully. You know what I mean? For showing up fully. I know that, you know, some of you all just found out about this in the last couple of days, and you still made an effort to be here. And that I don't take lightly. And I'm really excited about the momentum. There is something that happens when you make a decision. When you make a decision that you're going to do something, there is a way that the universe does begin to conspire with you. You know, we've talked a lot about like when you vision things and how your brain will start to work to make that vision come to fruition, make it true. there is a metaphysical property. All of us are God-fearing people here, God-loving people here. We understand that there is an unseen and there is a metaphysical property that when you get into alignment with what your spirit is called, like all of us were inspired to do what we're doing. We didn't just pick it out of a hat. Like we were inspired to do the things that we're doing. And when you follow that inspiration, right? When you follow the inspiration, I truly believe that the angels will begin to assist you. And you'll find, even from today and tomorrow, like there's a reason why you found me. Like you made a decision, you put some energy out there, and then I don't know what happened. Somebody told you about me, or I don't know, you know, like people find people different ways or whatever. But how it happens is like you made a conscious, energetic decision, and then things start to happen. It seems like magic, but things start to happen. And trust and believe it's going to be the same thing for your readers as well. Like some people, you're going to like really get it out there, and other people is going to be like, I don't even know how I found this book. Like it just, you know, I don't know. It just like somebody told me, I don't even remember. And those things are going to happen as well. But the reason I like you all is because you recognize that it's not just like an idea. You can't just think about writing a book and it happens. You have to think, you have to then put action. You know, you have to have actionable knowledge. You have to actually take what you know and put it into action. And that is necessary. That's necessary, but we do it in a way that feels good for us, and we do it in a way that's going to help us, you know, collectively. All right, so we're going to go to Jahada, and then I want to come back to Sharanda because I feel like I didn't really get exactly what your what next is going to be. I know you said workshops, but I have to, it's not in my head, so that it might not be in your head all the way, but I want to make sure it's clear in my head. Okay, so Jahada.
Yes, ma'am.
All
So
right.
for me, the what's next, I kind of already started the what's next, which would be my Mommy and Me group. I did it for free this summer with 5 of my friends. That's where the 2-year-old read, and then the kindergartners read, the one that the struggling students, they all read, alhamdulillah. So that was a free program so that I could show the parent. I've never shown a parent. I've always just tutored kids. Someone said that kid can't read. Okay, let me read with them, and then I teach them to read. So this year I said, you know what? You need to teach your child to read because nobody ever sticks with it as long as it's needed to finish the program. So I don't want that hassle to be on me, or that your child didn't learn to read because you as a mom didn't put in the work. You know, I want them to understand that, you know, they're your child, they're your children first, and so on. So anyway, that's my next, is to continue with those Mommy and Me programs at a bigger scale. And what I figured is, like, my next door neighbor is like my biggest cheerleader. She's young, mashallah. She's like 21, 22, but she is like, her child was a 2-year-old actually. And she was saying, you know, Jahada, you don't charge enough, you know, and nobody should get any of this knowledge for free. And what, you know, like what she says, what I have given her is it's not just that I do the lesson and show them how to do the lesson, it's the knowledge that they can do it, all the extra tips that I give out while I'm doing it, which I don't really see it that way, but she said that's what people are paying for. You should be charging people for all of that. You think about everything that you're getting when you're sitting with someone, even though it's 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most. They do get a lot. I mean, when she listed, it is a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't see it that way because it's so easy for me and simple, and it's what I do. So I don't see it as money, but I wrote down to charge like a Mommy and Me program. What I did is 5 weeks this summer. I don't really know how to rate the price of that, but what I try to do is go by the day. So if I did 1 day of training, to try to do it how I would do an hourly tutoring session.
Yeah.
But I try to charge more because, like, my husband fusses at me about how much I charge because I was charging like $10 an hour to tutor. And he's saying there's not enough money to tutor. So I tried to charge $15 an hour. And what I did is I tried to charge it with parents that I knew, like their husband was a doctor and then she was something big too. So then I would try to charge them $15 an hour. But, you know, they're saying you can't go by each parent. You can't do it that way. But I'm saying, you know, like some schools do sliding fees. Those private schools, they do sliding fees. So that's what I figured, kind of like what I'm doing. trying to be fair to who has the money and not trying to, overcharge someone who doesn't have the money, but they need that service. So, and I feel like I'll always do somebody's child for free. Like, why wouldn't I if they need it? And I'm gonna be the one saying, no, 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 you gotta pay me that money. I just don't see myself ever doing that. But I would try to charge. So I'm working my way up to $25 an hour.
Jahada, my colleague, a friend of mine, she's a teacher, and she started her own learning center. So she rented this place on Michigan Avenue. And I registered my son there, and a lot of people blocked, that she has a waiting list. And 3 days a week, I used to take him 3 days a week for 2 hours. I think it was $100 a week.
For 2 hours?
So yeah, 2 hours a day.
Oh, he went 3 days a week.
3 days a
That's
week.
6 hours. 6 hours for $100 a week.
Yeah.
6 and 100 is
But it wasn't just him. She had about 10 to 12 kids.
Yeah, I think that's too much money. I just think it's too much. And then you're not getting one-on-one
But you work hard.
Yeah. But,
and people are paying. They're paying for this service.
Yeah, I believe it. But then that's another thing that I always take into consideration. I know that I know my job, and I know that I'm good. I know I've been blessed with this, what I consider to be a gift. Alhamdulillah. I'm thankful for it, and I understand that. But at the same time, I don't have that piece of paper. So I feel like I should not be
cares
charging
about that piece of paper, Jahada. You mentioned that yesterday, and I almost said something then. But nobody cares about that piece of paper. We just care about what transformation you can give to us. So if you have receipts, if you have, people that you've helped, nobody cares about whether you have a degree in this or not. The only time that degrees come in, because I have a master's. I understand the power of education, all of that. Is if you want to get a job with some institution, then you have to have the credential for that institution. However, if I want my child to learn how to play piano or something, I don't care if they have a degree in music education. As long as they can teach my kid how to play, I'm going to pay them. If I want to go and do, something else, I don't really care if they have a degree in that, as long as I can get the result. So you have to value yourself. You mentioned that degree thing yesterday, which I let it slide then, but right now you said it again. So I need you to just understand that nobody cares. We don't even care about that. We just care about your receipts. That's it.
Okay. Now I'll work on not mentioning it. I'll work on it.
No, you're gonna work on getting it out your head, not just not mentioning it, getting it out your head. And there's a second thing for you too, is that with this charging thing, with this whole thing, like you said, that lady charged too much. She didn't charge too much at all, she has overhead. She has years of experience that she has put into creating her curriculum. She has all of these things that come into play with that. You do too. You have all of those things that come to play into that. And you should be paid abundantly well. You shouldn't be scrapping around trying to get this and get this and get this or whatever. No, you should be paid handsomely well for what you know, for your skills, for your expertise, for your knowledge. You have a skill set, a gift that other people don't have. Allah gave you that. Usually Allah gives somebody a gift, or God gives somebody something to help them have a pathway, to help them have something that they can monetize. He gave you that. He said, I don't even care if you have a degree, Jahada. I'm going to give you this extra gift that Zarina don't have, because I ain't teach my kids how to read. I had to send them to school. They had to go someplace else. You have a gift that other people don't have, and you can monetize that gift. You should be paid for your gift. You don't have to give your gift away. So we are going to have to do some work with you around around money. You have a money block. And you have a money block.
I like money.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do like money. I do want to, when I thought about, okay, what will you gave a list of things to do with the money, and there are things that I want to do, and like you said, I don't have the money to do. I don't have the money that I want to give to charity. So this year, I mean, I just gave, somebody asked, I don't know if you guys are familiar with KBK, but every time she sent a text, I'd send her $10, $5, whatever it was always raising money for something like every week, every other week. And I just said, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna give it no matter what. I'm not gonna think about it. Because I always feel like, okay, I don't really have money to give. You know, so I want to have money to give. So when you said that earlier, I said this could be a way for me to actually have the money that I would like to donate, you know. I don't know exactly what I want to donate to, but I do want to have money where I can say, you know, I have given charity, and you know, may it save me, you know, from the fire. So,
all right, and it doesn't take away from your you know, your necessities, right? It's like extra. It's not going to be money away from whatever else you have. It's extra that you're able to give.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, no, I do. I don't, and I know I don't manage the money well either. Even the small amount of money that the amount of money I made, I don't say necessarily what size it was. The amount of money that I've made, I can't say where that money is today. So I know that I want to do better with when I get the money. I want to be able to say this has provided me with this, whatever that amount is. So that's an area I want to work on too. But then also I wanted to try to, I just want to invest in myself. Like when the day I met you, someone else had recommended your program, and it was about 2 months. We've been walking together on Sundays for about 3 months now. So she mentioned it to me while we were walking. And then the day I saw you and it was mentioned again, you know, I didn't hesitate because I was like, I'm really trying to change my mindset and I'm just going to go for it. So when I clicked on it, I didn't know the, you know,
Price
or anything like that. But when I saw it, I was like, you know what? So what? I have it. You know, it's not, like you said, it's not going to take away from any of my necessities, and it's going to benefit me. So I'm all in. I'm all in, and this is the only way I'm probably going to actually do, you know, go follow through with the book. I want to know exactly how to do things properly. So that I'm very thankful to be here so that I can have the steps, and then I will feel more confident about it. Because my thing is, I'm always questioning, is this part right? Should I do this? Should I do that? Don't do this, do that. But now that I have someone to guide me through it, I feel like, okay, yeah, this is a doable book, and it will be beneficial to someone. So, yeah.
So are you happy that you invested, or did you get value out of the weekend?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. I feel like the book is basically complete. But, you know, my book is one of the easiest books here. So, so it's just about figuring out, you know, like when I figured out my audience, those types of things, and then figuring out how I'm going to, if I want to leverage it as a business and go further than just a book, those types of things I didn't expect to get from this. But I see clearly, and I've seen so many, you mentioned so many things, Sister Zarina. I don't even know. I wish I could have wrote down everything you said, but I know I can go back and look at the video. You mentioned, so many things that we can do. The speaking engagements, selling the book, me doing my mommy and me class. There's just so many different ways that I can make money from this. Oh, you told me I could do the flashcards, sell the flashcards. You mentioned about your calendar. I thought immediately, I can do a calendar. I can do a weekly calendar so that the parent can see a letter a week or a couple of letters a week on that page. I thought about that in me. Like so many things that you say have make me think about so many other things, and so many things that the other women here have said are just absolutely inspiring, and yeah, most definitely a benefit. Most definitely, and I can see how to put the money on a piece of paper. I still don't know what amount to put on a piece of paper, but I can at least see it. Like I did put down $100 a day. And I calculated that to be, if I do four days a month, right? So I said 5 days a month, so that'd be $500, right? So that would give me $500 a month times 12. Am I doing that right?
You $500 a week, I think, right?
No, I didn't do it like that.
What did you say again?
5 days a week, 5 days a month.
5 days a month. Okay.
Yeah, 5 days a month. So $100, $500 a month times 12, right?
Yeah, that's 6,000.
That's $6,000, right?
Yeah.
So if I ramped it up, I know I can at least I can understand. Okay, I can see where the money would come from. I did more days and I make more money.
No, we have to increase that $100. I'm not gonna have you doing jack squat that you're making $100 a day. Like, no,
What?
no, no,
Listen, what?
no.
The service you're offering is so valuable.
Oh my God, no way.
You're
$100
teaching
is a lot
people
of money.
how to read.
Yeah.
You
That's
guys
so
are
precious and valuable.
y'all doing way too much. So listen, $100 is a lot of money. People don't have $100 to give for a weekend. My husband is yelling from the basement. It's not enough.
Yeah. Tell him we agree with him. Like, no, no.
Oh my God.
I mean, at first I thought you were saying $100 per person. I was like, oh, okay. But then then it went to like just $100 a day, and I was like, what? Like,
Well, it would be $100 a person would pay for that that 4 hours. So it's like a 4 hour walkthrough or whatever, right? That's $100. That's like $25 an hour from one person.
no.
No. You look so serious. Okay, well, you have to work with me. You have to work with me. Okay, I'll mute my mic. I just listen.
No. You know what? I would, this is gonna sound very harsh, but don't take it the wrong way. If how can I say it? I don't want, just know it's coming from a place of love, Jahada, okay? Just know it's coming from a place of love. But if you came at me after I just heard what you said, if you came at me and was like, Zarina, I want you to invest in my, my business or whatever. I have this learning center I want to open. I wouldn't give you the money. Do you know why I wouldn't give you the money? Your business model is not sustainable. I couldn't invest in that because you're going to be run down. You're going to be like always penny pinching. It's going to be always like, I got to pull this from here and try to put it over here. I'm trying to do the most with the like little, like the little tiny, like you're going to be a run down leader because you don't have a flow of abundance around it. Right. And I love you. But what I'm saying is that you are going to have to redefine like what you're worth to yourself so that you get paid appropriately, because we can't have like our good people like you. We can't have you running yourself into the ground because you provide a valuable service. That's great. You provide a valuable service. You're going to be helping people, but you also deserve to be financially abundant, not just like flatline, but like financially abundant with what it is that you're doing. So you're going to have to shift. It's going to have to be, and it's going to be hard, but it's going to actually have to be a shift that happens with you so that you're coming up with whatever structure is going to work with you where you feel good. You may not do one person, just like how Selwa said, her son went there 2 days a week for that group program. You may have to do something like that if you want to just keep your stuff down lower, but you got to be paid appropriately, because otherwise you're going to be run down. Can you take any bit of what I'm saying?
I hear it all the time with my husband. So I hear it. My next door neighbor tells me the same thing. I just have to work on it, but I just feel like what I tell people is, you really honestly don't need me. If you just take these flashcards and sit down
No,
with your
see,
baby.
hold on. You're
Sorry.
you are like disvaluing the gift again. What I mean is that like many of us do this. The stuff that comes naturally to us, we feel like we shouldn't get paid for that. Like, oh, I'm just doing this. Like, oh, I just helped you 10 minutes. I'm just doing this or whatever. That's the game. That's the thing that Allah gave you. Like, that was the gift that God gave you, and you have to you have the ability to monetize that. Like, many of us do that. We minimize the gifts that we have, and we feel like we shouldn't get paid for it because it comes so easy to us. Like, oh, that's just an easy thing for me. That's the actual gift that God gave you to make your life easier. He gave you something that you can get money from that is not difficult for you. you shouldn't have to make money in difficult ways. And I think that honestly, because of slavery for us, like we're accustomed to this mindset.
All the way to slavery on me.
I mean, for real, like I think really because of slavery, like we feel like it has to be hard to get money. Like when we got to do a lot of work, and then you actually get some type of return, when money should actually flow to you effortlessly. And you want to reject it because you feel like that's easy. You want to reject the easy path that God actually gave you, and you want to make it harder for yourself. But that's the path. You got this gift and you charge for this gift. It's not even charging. Some people have a energetic problem with the word charge. Like they feel like that there's a negativity that comes in there. You start thinking about the old rich people that are selfish and blah, 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 blah. Like, so there's some energy around some words that you may not like that we have to maybe, reframe it or whatever. But it is that you are receiving abundance from the gifts that God gave you because you're giving a value and transformation to other people.
Okay. I'm going to pray about it. I'll pray specifically about it. I'll write a prayer for it, actually.
Yes. Yep.
That.
How yesterday we did our individual prayers. That's one for you. Yep. Yep. Oh God, please allow me to be financially abundant and to make it easy for me to be financially abundant and to remove any money blocks, any money language that is detrimental to me being financially abundant. Like remove that stuff and fill it with, angels of support in all ways. So may God give that to all of us who are here, here today. Yes. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see. I wanted to go back to Sharanda real quick, and then we're gonna tidy up for today. So Sharanda, I know you're driving, my love. So I saw you driving. So keep your eyes on the road. You don't even have to turn the video on, nothing like that. But I know that you said workshops. I just want to check in and see how are you seeing those workshops? Because I know your journal. I think it was like first you were talking about a month. And then we talked about doing a starter thing for the group that you have that's going to be working with you. So anyway, how are you seeing the possibility of the workshops?
So my current struggle or my current area of work is like visualizing how to do this virtually. One, with this whole social distance thing. Two, how I originally visualize the workshops were like, again, not trying to figure out the how or the who, but in the sense of like how do they find me, but like either through like the Thoughtful Thursdays or inquiry posts that I make on Facebook or being in other groups and seeing other women who identify as trying to overcome some of those struggles or some of those challenges, like having workshops where, and so this is where the money part comes into play with me too. So you about to have the same speech. I was trying to like listen to what you were saying to Sister Jahada, so you don't have to repeat yourself, but you might be on replay, whatever, right? So like the workshops would entail them also purchasing the workbook in some degree. Like if I am generating this small group based on people who follow posts or based on people that I had like certain exchanges with or like quick coaching or quick reset conversations with, but wanted to go deeper into like really putting plans in place and putting things in motion. So like them signing up for the workshop would essentially be them purchasing the workbook, but like what does that fee, how do you get to that fee of them paying for both and not feeling like it's an exorbitant cost? is one of my areas of work in my mind. But then also, one of the other things that I have been a part of and like looking to do more of. So I had like in 2019, like I literally missed out on good money. I know that I did, but I wasn't in that place. I wasn't ready. Like I did 3 speaking engagements. All went over extremely well. Had multiple women coming afterwards, asking me, trying to reach out, trying to, see if there was any way that we could work additionally. And so like a couple of them, like I've done things on the side with them, but because my book isn't done and the workbooks weren't finished, like missed out on that opportunity for the additional income and, for them to have something tangible to pass on. And so, like, I don't want to be in that place again where I'm doing speaking engagements and I don't at least have the journals to sell for them to work through the process that I speak about. That's kind of where I am in my mind, which is why I said I could see me potentially doing both. But if I had to pick one, I'm not as ingrained with multiple women's empowerment groups to have like multiple speaking engagements set up right now. But I can see doing both, where the speaking engagement is the real goal, and then what I'm saying, selling the workbooks is the extra with the, oh yeah, if you like what I talked about, meet me at the table type deal. So yeah, that's how I see it happening, but I don't know how.
Well, first to the first part with the whole, like, how does it work virtually, right? So like even what we're doing right now, there's 5 of us on this call, right? There's 4, this is a small intimate group, right? So you can see how I could do some of what I'm doing now. If there were 400 people, I would pick, certain people out and do deep dives with them. But obviously I wouldn't be able to do it with everybody like I'm doing here with this. So this type of virtual workshop setup that we've done just this weekend may also work for you for what you want to do with the women, so that's a possibility for you. And then as far as like just doing things virtually first, right? Just doing things virtually first, which allows you to have people not in just one physical area, not just in one city, which I really love that part of it. So I would explore the virtual side. And then for the speaking engagements to the programs, like you're absolutely right. Speaking is one of the fastest ways to build trust with people. If they listen to you talk, they feel like they know you more. So that's why it was so easy for them to raise their hand and say, hey, like, do you have anything else? I really resonate with you. I want to work with you more. Speaking is great, right? Speaking is absolutely great. It's one of the great ways to do that. I feel like you already have some structure within your book. I keep hearing when I think of your book, I see like a membership program. That's one thing I see, a membership program, possibly, where, you have these women who come in, and then every month, as you mentioned in your journal, she has a self-help type of journal. But like in your journal, you pick one of those things where every month you're going to be focusing on a different deep dive. So I'm going to be a member in the program. It may be a subscription membership based thing like Netflix, where I'm going to come in and I can pay per month and I can drop out whenever. Or if I stay for the full 12 months, then I get some type of, discount, get 1 month free or something. You can do that with your thing as well, as far as the membership program. Or like we talked about yesterday, with the 6-week starter program, you could have a 6-week starter program or 4-week starter program where you just pick one thing that all of your people, it's like the prerequisite to get into your membership or your full year mastermind. This is a prerequisite that all of your people go through your starter program, right? Maybe some mindset clearing stuff or whatever. And then from there, they will know whether you are a good fit for them and whether they are a good fit for you. You will know whether they are a good fit for you. And I'm saying that because you don't have to take every single person that is interested in being in your program. You don't have to let everybody in. You get to decide, who's, just because they come with their money. I don't let everybody even pay me to come to these things like this. There have been people I turned away because I already knew their spirit wasn't going to jive with what we were trying to do. So they could have their money in hand, but it's not worth it. So you too get to decide, who the people are that you want to have in your intimate programs. When you're working intimately with people and stuff like that, you get to decide, who you want to work with. So I would say for you first, going off of what we said yesterday, because you're going to have this beta group, you're going to pick just like a 6-week curriculum. I'm thinking 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. I'll say it that way. 4 to 6 weeks. I think you should have your initial starter, your program that's not going to be called a starter program. It's going to have a name geared around the transformation that they're going to get from that program. And then I think that you run that, you can put some women through that and get testimonials and things. And then just keep doing that. That can be your signature program for a while. And then lead them into working with you in a group month to month to month, right? Month to month to month. So first off, how does that feel? And then I have one other thing before I forget. How does that feel for you?
That feels good. I'm trying. Come on, dude. I'm trying to figure out how to. I guess I could sit and figure out like which components we would go deeper into each month, or what a 4 to 6 week span would be, which is what we talked about yesterday. And then also what a month to month. I couldn't see the subscription before, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'll just tell you, I'm in a couple of subscription programs. One I pay $197 a month to be in, and another one I pay $297 a month. And these are just ongoing. I've been in there for like a couple of years, right? Like it's not like, it's not even that it has an end date. Like this is the outcome of that you're going to get, but they're like support groups and blah, 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 all this other stuff or whatever that comes with it. Mm-hmm. And I keep paying because of the value that I get out of the programs, right? So I'm just saying, like for you, that's a possibility as well. And then I wanted to mention one thing as far as the speaking engagements that you already did and the people that that reached out or whatever. Like whenever those things happen later, you want to get their email addresses. So you're constantly going to be building up your email address. Always get email addresses so you're building up your list. But two, whoever invited you to those talks, now you want to go back to them and you want to tell them, hey, you know what? I'm so passionate about helping women to do X, Y, and Z. And so now I've decided to start my own program. And, either you want them to bring you back to speak again, or you maybe want to see, do they have the list of people that came to their event? So you can send them an email or just give them to get you a testimonial, get them to give you a testimonial, whoever led it. So those relationships, anything that you've done in the past, you can always pull back on old relationships now that you're beginning to put more structures around the way that you're doing your work. You can always go back. It's not a waste. It never is really a waste of things that you did before. And then you just know from now, this point, I'm going to get emails. I'm going to have my stuff set up. And I'm going to keep it moving. This is totally an aside, but I'm going to say it anyway. Even without your book done right now, like you could actually sell a program without your book, done. I told you my book, I sold $37,000 worth of like material and stuff for my new book, Book Power, at an event that I was speaking at. Before the book, it wasn't even done, right? It wasn't even done at all. Why? Because it was me talking about the material. Like I am the book, you know what I mean? Like it's me, it's within me. So they saw and then they resonated with what it was and they wanted to work with me. So you can always use whatever you have at that moment and put it forward. And then you give to them when you get it, right? You give to them as you continue on. So you can let them know, hey, the book is coming out in X, Y, and Z time. And you get to have a preview. You get to work through the materials before anybody else can even get to it. You make it exclusive, right? You make it exclusive. Your beta readers, all of you all as well, like your beta readers, like Selwa, that lady that you sent me that UNESCO video, like that Yemeni lady or whatever, and that one who did that TED talk, all those types of people or whatever, you can reach out to them now, not for money or anything, but you're just reaching out to them and telling them, hey, I was so inspired by your video that I shared it with my publisher. Would you be interested in being a part of my advisory committee? What's that mean? Oh, you'll maybe, read the early draft and give me some feedback or whatever, or give me some ideas or something, so you can always be reaching out to people, both influencers and regular folks. And don't be scared of the influencers. Don't be scared of them at all. Because I still do punk out. I'm not even gonna lie. I still punk out now sometimes where I get like this angsty feeling about reaching out to people that have big platforms and this or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, why would they want to work with little old me? Like da 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 da. And I realized those people are actually usually very excited to know that there are people who resonate with what they're doing and that they want them, they respect them and things like that. So I'm working on that myself. I'm telling you from my own perspective, I'm working on that myself. And that's one thing that you all are also going to have to get into the habit of being outside of your comfort zone and then just continuing to move forward. So, all right, everybody feeling good? Good. All right, awesome. So let's see. I want to do, so what I need for you all is that immediately after we finish, I want you to just pull out your phone. For those of you who are comfortable with pictures or whatever, pull out your phone and just record for me like a short 1-minute testimonial about what you got out of this weekend. And somebody who is on the fence, what you would tell them if they're like, oh, well, should I come to the weekend? Should I not? Should I do the workshop? Should I not? Like, tell them, what you got out of it. Because I'll tell you, I have so many people, I don't know why. I don't know why. I have so many people that say they want to write a book, but then they come and ask me 50 million times, like before they actually take any action. So sometimes they just need to see that other people, went through the process and they also are going to get benefit. So if you all can send me that, like just a quick little thing and just inbox me on Facebook or email me or whatever, that would be very, very, very helpful. Yes, Selwa.
Can I just type it and send it to you?
Yeah, you can type it too. That would be fine. But it's not the same exactly. Like Jahada can type it, but it's also great if you just say something. It doesn't have to be fancy, just like now, because they don't always believe type because they think I could just type it myself. But you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So are you scared?
No. So what, you just want me to record my voice?
No, I want you to just record a short video. Like, hey, this is Selwa. I just finished up with the Jumpstart, my book in the weekend. I'm so excited about my book. I was nervous about coming in, but I learned X, Y, and Z or whatever. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. All right. So Selwa, we already know what your next step is because you have already hired us. We're going to be working with you on your book. Sharanda, we already know that we're going to be working with you on your book. Jahada and Alexis, I want you all to send me a message, because our Power Author Academy, we meet on Tuesdays and we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's kind of like what we're doing here in this weekend, but it's expanded over the span of months, actually. So we actually are supporting you long-term with your book projects, and then also like the what's next, how you're going to implement what you're going to do for that project. I'm going to send you the link so that you can see the information for the Academy, but those are natural steps for you all to finish the books that you're working on. And what you learn in the Academy, you're going to apply to however many books you want to do. So again, right, you're learning a skill. You're learning a skill that you can then implement and use over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? So Dr. Alexis, we already know she has a series of books. This ain't gonna be the first one and the only one that she's doing. She's gonna do this one, and then she's gonna be putting out the others, right? Jahada, I kind of feel that you probably are gonna have more than one thing coming out too, based off of what I hear from you and your expertise in things. It may not only be about reading though, it may be something else. That's my feeling, but we'll see. So anyway, I'll send both of you all the link for the Power Author Academy. It's powerauthoracademy.com. You'll find the information there. And if you want to move in quickly, then come in before Tuesday, because on Tuesday, we actually meet. On Tuesdays, we have a writing hour. So Tuesday is our writing hour. I have a writing coach, Sarah. She meets with the class on Tuesday for the writing hour. We do some writing together, and then Q&A. And then on Thursdays is like what we're doing now. Thursdays, 1 p.m., Thursdays, 7 p.m. I meet with the students and we talk about their projects, what's moving forward, all of those.
What time on Tuesday you said? So it's
It's
twice
at
a
7.
week?
Yeah, Tuesday at 7, and then Thursdays 1 and 7. 1 and 7. Yeah.
So I can, because I can't attend the 1 o'clock, I can attend the 7 o'clock.
Yeah, but you're actually different. We actually have something, like we're doing something different because your project is a little bit different. So don't worry about the Academy. It won't really be, yours is a little bit different. So for the others, it's a good fit for them. And Sharanda, we're doing something different with her journal too. But for Alexis and Jahada, like that's the natural next fit for you all. Okay, so let's tidy up. I'm going to send you all the link for that though. So powerauthoracademy.com. All right, so let's see. I want to hear from you all, like what, where you are right now and what your next step is going to be for your project. Because you should know right now, and if it's not clear what your next step is, we got to make it clear. Like what you're going to do for the next week even, surrounding your book. So Selwa, we're going to start with you.
Okay. I'm going to start writing because I have my outline. I have pretty much almost all the things that I want to include. So I'm going to start writing. Like
Great.
you said, one step at a time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So I think once we get this next draft from you, then, we'll meet again and we'll kind of go through it again and tidy it up. And then we'll go through the other steps, because I like the outline that we actually created. I think it's perfect. I think it's visual. I think that it is really going to, it excites me. So I know it's going to excite other people. So I think it's great. And then you just need to flesh it out. You just need to, add the color, the color to it. So good job. All right. And then Alexis, so for you, what's going to be your next step for this first book that you're putting out?
Well, I told you I had a 2-week goal. So I'm going to 2 weeks, I could write a chapter a day. I really can. And then I have 6 remaining days to perfect it. Now, what about the editing and the market, like the editing and publishing? Like, when do we learn about that stuff?
Okay, so in the academy, we cover all of those different things, the editing, the marketing, all of that kind of stuff. I think for you, I want to talk to you just a little bit more and see if the academy is going to be the best fit, or if you're on a different timeline, I may need to do something different with you, like I'm doing with Salwa and Sharanda, based off of that first thing. But I also want to make sure that we're setting you up for long term.
Right.
Because you have more than one book that you're going to be doing, and I want to make sure you get like support for, for you have more than one thing that you're going to be doing. So let's talk, maybe after we get off with everybody, let's talk just real quick, and I can see what I think is the best fit for you. We have editors here, we have designers, we have everything as well. But then in the academy, we also teach people based off of whatever their budget is, like how they can go and hire different editors too. So not everyone in the academy uses Book Powers editors, right? Like we set them up, then they go and they hire other editors, which is perfectly fine for me. I just need to make sure you're getting, I just need to make sure the quality is where the quality needs to be.
Okay.
So let's just stay on after this, and then we'll hammer out what's the best thing for you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Sharanda, what's your next step?
So my next step is going back, because like I said, I do have some other voice notes, and then from today's session, some things that came up. And I want to make sure that I have the most useful material in this first draft. So my next step is going back through my notes and going back through some of my other writing pieces, making sure that everything in there is aligned, so that I can have everything ready to turn in for editing. But then, and at the same time, working to build credibility in some of the social networks that the women that I'm looking to partner with currently exist in, and then strategizing what my weekly tidbits will be on social media that will kind of let people know and get people accustomed to hearing me message about the subject, so that when the journal drops, it's not like foreign, like what? Oh, she writing something? So like those are my next steps, and then also
hold on. There's too many steps. We're gonna have to cut this down. So let's it's too many. I need like, all right, so let's just take the next 7 days. What we're gonna get accomplished in the next 7 days only. So now tell me from that perspective.
So for the next 7 days only,
yep,
I would probably be focused on tightening up, making sure I have all the content in there that I want in there.
Okay, that's enough. So, yes. Let's. I'm gonna have 2 things for you. Okay, we're only gonna do 2 things. One is that you're gonna go over, your material, and you're gonna come back through your draft, right? That's one. And you're gonna tidy up the material. 2 is, yes, I want you to look in 2 Facebook groups a day, and just post or comment on something in 2 of those groups a day. That's it. So the 2 groups, that should take you less than 15 minutes, really. Just drop into one of those groups, see if there's anything that you can give value to, leave a comment. If you don't see any value, then you can just drop a little, paragraph about something in your life that gave you an aha, you know what I mean? And you drop something in there. That's it. That's the only 2 things I want you to do this week. 1, work on your draft, your material based off of what we said today. And then 2, engage in 2 groups a day. Forget about everything else.
Okay.
Yeah. Overachiever. She always want to do, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and this, and this. Yeah.
Okay,
Cut it down. Cut
that's
it
it.
down. Yep, that's
Cut
it.
that.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, good. I feel better. All right. So Jahada, what's your next thing for this next week?
Okay, first, Miss Sharenda says she's a principal, right?
Yes.
So that's her problem.
Yep. Yeah.
She be trying to get teachers to do 50 million things because she be doing 50 million things.
Yep.
Hey,
Those are
hey,
the
don't. This is a judgment-free zone.
We feel for you, man. We
All alone.
understand.
All alone,
We
all alone.
understand. My brother is a high school principal at Southeastern, so I get it. Like, you are constantly pulled here and here and here. But over here, we don't do that. We're actually going to do the most with doing the least amount of effort and get you big results without you wearing yourself thin. So we're just going to focus on two things, go deep in that, and that's it. And once we get those two things done, then, we'll move on to the next thing. Yeah. Okay. So Jahada.
Yes. Okay, so for me, as to figure out what I'm doing on Tuesday, to figure out if I'm gonna be a part of the academy. So I have to find out more information about that. So that's one thing I'm working on. So as we get off, I'm gonna look at all the information for that. And then I'm also working on my, I'm gonna work on the Mommy and Me program to try to figure out exactly how many weeks I want to do it, because when I did the free program, I didn't realize it, but it was 10 weeks. It was the summer, and it took up the whole summer. So I didn't even realize I did it that long until just now when I went back to count the weeks. It seemed like less work than 10 weeks, but so I want to try to make that smaller, not so many weeks, so that I can maybe do more parents in a certain time. And it was only 2 days a week though. It was only 2 days a week for the 10 weeks. So I know I want to do a break in the day so the parent has the opportunity to work with their own child. So I don't want to change necessarily that part, but I would like, maybe if I did the Monday and the Wednesday with the one set, and then I did the Tuesday and the Thursday with another set of parents. So that was something I was thinking of. So I think just getting the Mommy and Me program together. So for the book, I'm gonna just start. 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna start to I'm gonna keep going with what we were doing with the outline and start putting my pages together. I wanted to know, did you want me to, like I was trying to do an ebook, I was using Canva and using YouTube, a YouTube guide saying how to do your ebook. That's what I was doing. Should I continue to do that and just follow whatever he's suggesting for that, or should I be doing something else for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. As far as interior formatting, I really think that you should do an ebook and a print book version. Like, this is something people may need to have a print book version. Right. And for the size of the book, you need to decide what size is going to be and make sure that the settings for the document that you're doing are set appropriately for that, for your interior of your book. The only thing about doing it in Canva is that you have to take into account what we call mirror images or gutter. So when you have a book, when it opens up, on the left page in the center of the book, there's a bigger gap on the margin on that side. Then on the right page, it's on the left side, because that's how the book is, right? So you have to take those things into account, which can kind of get tricky sometimes in Canva. When it's fine for an ebook, but for the actual print book version, that mirror margins and gutter can be tricky. I don't think Canva has a setup where they can do it automatically for you. So you can test it and see and look it up or whatever and see. But I don't think they do. So that's just something to make sure you keep into account.
I do want the print book. I want to be able to take the book and, like you said, I want to be able to have my that thing that you roll up behind you, that big long.
Yeah, the banner.
Yeah, I want that banner. I want my table, and I want my books to sit on the table and things like that. I do want that.
Yeah.
So I know I want the book eventually. So I don't know. So if I do the Power Book Academy, that's going to help me to go through with getting the completed book.
I'm gonna go through and tell you all I'm gonna just do it right now. Like Sharanda and Selwa, you guys can listen in, and you should actually listen in anyway. I'll tell you why you should listen in, even though like we're gonna be doing your book in a different way. One, you may decide that you want to do some type of academy process later. So just listen in to what is included in my academy, because you may want to have that same format, later for yourself. It may be something. So let me just share this, and I'm going to go through exactly what's in the academy. All right. So our self-publishing, our Power Author Self-Publishing Academy, it's pretty much like the easy button. It's a support group, it's accountability, it is knowledge, it's structure, it's all of that to help people produce what we call power books. So books that are able to build their business, build their legacy, or build their impact, right? People come in with one of those three goals or all of them. But it is our system that I've devised as a way to help people be able to do those things. So the academy is based in three different areas. Part one, or three big areas. Part one is the knowledge itself. So these are really like our Netflix of self-publishing. So on every aspect of self-publishing, from what I taught you all here, like the overwhelm-free method of writing, I have a video that walks through that, right? I have a video on how to upload your materials into distribution centers. Like, how do you actually get them uploaded and for printing? All of that is covered in the academy. Every little step. How do you apply for the Library of Congress? All of those steps are laid out in video format and also handout format as a part of the self-publishing system and the Power Author Academy. So you get the exact systems and the methods that allow you to take like that idea into creating a legacy leaving bankable, a bankable book. Every little detail is already kind of laid out. So that's in video format. It's kind of like the Netflix of video, right? Netflix of self-publishing. So we have a private portal that's just for the Power Author Academy students that have all of these videos all laid out, right? So again, we already talked about like the writing system, how we reorient you so that you write and you do the things properly so that you don't waste time. So we teach you how to develop and create the book topic. We talked about that here. So you guys have a jumpstart, already. You already learned part of the write your book as quickly as possible, confirming your niche, subculture, all of that stuff is in there as well. You have the beginning of that from the foundational part that we did here. Selling your first 250 books. We talk about how to lay out that plan and what your path to cash is, your $10,000 book plan. So you have an idea now of what your $10,000 book plan is going to look like. But through the course of the academy, we're kind of holding your hand as you're writing, as you're implementing with the group, right? With the group. So polishing, how to get it edited, all of that. All of that is a part of the Power Author Academy. So the bestseller method that comes in with the academy is that like all of our people want to get bestsellers. You want to be a bestseller on Amazon at a minimum, right? At a minimum. So we have to show you how to do that. So there are some tools that we use. KD Spy is one of them. This is one of the tools that we use to do some of the research on the back end so we know where to place your book appropriately inside of Amazon, right? Inside of Amazon. So we do some of that research through these tools. So you're going to learn what tools you need to have, for that. So that's the first part, right? It's like the knowledge, it's the A to Z trainings, it's all of the material that comes with step-by-step putting together a book, whether it's your first book, your second book, your third book, your 15th, your 20th book. These are the steps that you're going to have to follow over and over and over again. So that's the base, the A to Z trainings. That's all video based. That is on demand. People drop in there all the time and just like, oh, I need a refresher on this. They drop in, watch the video, so they're not trying to figure stuff out. They just know what to do. Now, the second part of the academy is the live coaching, pretty much like I'm doing with you right now. Like this is the live coaching, right? Because the thing is that you are going to have questions as you begin to implement. You're going to have questions like, what title? What about this? What about this? You're going to have questions. So the academy is built so that you have 2 days a week where you get support, live support. And it's actually going to be supporting people for 7 months of time, right? 7 months of time. And it's every Tuesday. The schedule this year is every Tuesday and Thursday. 2:00 is with my writing coach, Sarah. She comes in, the group comes in, they write on Tuesdays together. And then she answers any questions, like, any questions that people have about their manuscript, about their actual writing. And then on Thursdays is myself, 1:00 and 7:00, where I come in and I'm doing what I'm doing now with you, right? Like live coaching. That's what the whole thing is. And I understand that some people don't really have live coaching components to their academy, but for me, it's important for me to have, I need to be able to know that you're moving forward. I need to be able to know that you're moving step by step. So that's why I have the live coaching bit. So it's pretty much like geared towards removing the guessing, from which way do I go? What do I do now? Like, what do I do? So all of that, we remove all of that. This is just one of our clients that went through the academy before. Her book is Muslim Marriage Makeover. She used it to become a speaker and do some other things. So that's the second part of the academy. Like the first part of the videos, the second part is the live support. Now, the third part are the writing and launching partners. So what I mean by this is that the academy has a group launch, like a graduation, if you will. It's coming up in beginning of April. So we're going to have a group launch so that all of the people who have published over a period of time, they're going to be launching again, like together. And it's like cross sharing. So I'm sharing about this big launch. You're sharing about this big launch to your network. I bring my network, you bring your network, she brings her network, she brings hers. So everybody collectively is assisting with the launching, and it's more people doing the group launch, right? So that's the launching. On the writing side, everybody in the academy also has an accountability partner, right? So they have an accountability partner that you meet with or just text in with, just to make sure you're going step by step. So all of that is geared to help you complete your book quickly so that you can reduce stress, save yourself time and money, right? Save yourself time and money. So one of the cool things about having the academy piece is that you are able to learn when other people ask questions too. You know how sometimes you may not know exactly like what it is that you're doing. But you hear like somebody else ask a question about something you didn't even think about, and like you get an idea from that. So that's one of the beautiful things about like the group program as well. So you have the trainings, you have the live support, you have the writing, the launch partners, the accountability piece. Those are the three major components of the academy. But we also added something else because, I'm like Sharanda, I am an overachiever. I'm always, we're all overachievers here, but I want to make sure.
Wriggling me out. Yes.
We are all, I don't want you to have too much stuff. I want you to get like, your greatness with no extra stress. So, so the next thing is that we have like monthly training. So every month I bring in a different guest instructor. Okay. Every month I bring in a different guest instructor to talk about different aspects, just centered around being a power author, right? It's one thing to write the book, but then if you're talking about, well, how do I get prepared for this media interview? Or how do I tell my story? Or how do I do some Amazon ads? Not everything is my expertise. So I can't be every like end all be all for every little thing. I have my lane, I have my gifts, right? And so I bring other people in that have their gifts once a month. And these are optional trainings, as you don't have to take them, but they're there for you, right? So they're there for you if you want them. So those are the guest speakers that come in every month. Like last month we had her name is Goodness Okolo or Koro, but she is a designer, graphic design. So she talked about like the importance of design, how to build a brand, how to utilize color for emotion, all this kind of stuff. She talked about that. Yeah. That month. Okay. So that's just another part of the academy, right? Is that's a bonus. I added it. I don't have to add it, but it took a lot of work. Let me just say, when for all of you all, when you want to start reaching out to other people, you got to get on their schedule. They're busy. You got to find the right people that are, the appropriate folks and stuff. So it took a lot of work to get those mentors together. But I feel that it was worth it because my students now get to, learn from them. And all of them have their own high ticket programs, right, that they are doing, but I get to bring them into my folks. So that's the guest instructors that are monthly. You get a planner. So this is a Trello planner that we laid out that has all the steps of publishing, bam, 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 all laid out, right? All laid out. All right. So the other part of this probably is for you, Jahada, like when you were saying, like, how do I get the book actually designed properly? So if you are a DIYer, right, if you want to do that interior stuff yourself, I gift to them a Word templates and interior templates that have the margins set up appropriately, that have the the spacing, all that kind of stuff, the headers, so that they just plug their material into it and they know it's going to look good because these are professionally designed interiors. So that's that. Now, so that's a part of what you get in the academy. It's geared around 7 months, but actually I'm gifting 5 additional months. People get to stay into the academy for a full year through. Now, the reason I did a year is because even though not everybody takes a full year to do their book or whatever, but some people may have another book they want to do, or some people, may have something that comes up that stops them. I mean, shoot, COVID taught us that, like, you never know what's going to happen. So that's the reason why it's geared around 7 months, but people have up to a year membership in the academy. So for the freelancer hiring guide, who asked me this? Alexis asked me earlier. So for the freelancer hiring guide, like, this is for people who want to go out and do their own hiring for their editing, all that stuff. We show them how to go and find appropriate people, Fiverr, Upwork, freelancer, blah, blah, blah. Right. So that's just to make sure that you know how to hire if you decide you want to go outside. And then, of course, the $10,000 book plan, we help people, just keep monitoring that, right? Because it's one thing to say it, but then you got to implement, and you need additional assistance with how you're going to make that happen, right? So we support them in the live coaching that I do on Thursdays. Like, some people come in, they're talking about their books. Some people come in, they're talking about, well, how do I engage with my audience? Some people come in, they're talking about, well, how do I monetize? You know what I mean? So it's people talking about whatever is on their particular, whatever they're, I'm going to skip over because we don't really need to go over everything. But that's the academy, right? And so generally, like, what I usually ask people was like, what do you want? What do you want from this? If this academy, you were in this program and it brought you just one new high ticket client, a month, would that be worth it for you? If it brought you one more speaking engagement, would that be worth it for you? If it brought you one new media mention, is that, a benefit for you? If it helped you to reach one more person who reached your message, would that be benefit for you, that you helped one person, And so for us, because I know that some people have an issue with getting support, I have to remind you and us and everyone else, right, that your mind is the most precious asset that you have. When you invest in skills, you invest in things that can feed you over and over and over and over again. So when I created the Academy, this is for you all who are kind of trying to think about what your what next is. When I created the Academy, I had two choices. One was that I could just do the videos alone, which would be a cheaper program. But I know that even if I just do the videos alone, people are going to be confused. They're going to want to have implementation questions that come up and they don't have any place to go because they just are watching, this video or whatever. So I chose to go the more supported route, the more hug route, which is a higher investment, but then I know that I'm supporting people throughout the entire process, right? So when you're doing your program, you may decide that I want to have a lower ticket version that's just going to be the videos alone. So that if somebody can't come into my bigger program, and I feel some angst or guilt around that, then I have the lower ticket thing. They can go get that. And then quite frankly, if they can't pay you what your amount is, Jahada, they can go buy your book, and they still are going to get value from your book, whether they come into the higher ticket thing or not, right? So anyway, I chose to walk side by side with my Academy members to help them go all the way through to the finish line. That was my goal. That's what I want to see come out of the people who come into my program. So with the investment for our program, it's not 25,000, it's not 10,000, it's not 5,000 for the year. People come in and they get started for just $497. It's 7 payments of $497, or it's 1 payment of $29.97. So you save like $500 when you pay in full, and you get some extra trainings and bonuses and one-on-one time when you come in that way, right? So you people choose whether you're going to do $497 for 7 months, or if you're going to do 1 payment of $29.97, you save $500 and you get some additional trainings and bonuses and such. So that's what the Academy is. That is the way that we've been helping people to get our stuff done, get their things done. And it's a beautiful, beautiful program. I'm so proud. I'm proud of what I built, honestly, but I'm also proud of the students that come in. Because just like how all of you all are kind of here and you're all good, you know what I mean? Like, you're good people. You can feel that. It's the same thing in the Academy as well. Like, everybody that comes in, I'm selective. And everybody that comes in are good souled people. So you all are invited to join the Academy, whether you want to do the save, $500 and do the 1 payment of $29.97, or you want to do the 7 payments of $497. This is our gift package, if you will, for us to be able to help you over the span of a year to put out your books and to get your monetization, your leverage plan up and going. So let me see what questions you all have about the Academy. Alexis, Jahada, even Selwa, you may have some questions as well. So let's see what questions you all have about the Academy.
I have. So I wanted to know, do you help someone who's trying to put those modules together? For like, if I was trying to do the videos along with the book and all that, the one-on-one, do you guys do that as well within the Academy?
No, we don't really go into like how to structure your videos and things like that. We're more focused on the book, the book itself. But with the leveraging piece, when we have our live coaching, you're welcome to ask any questions that you have at all. And because I have the knowledge, I'm going to, share with you. But there are definitely ways that I can give you the information on how you set up exactly what you're going to see in the Academy. I have a portal, right? They have all of our videos. I'm going to share with you, this is how we did our portal. You can use the same one. You know what I mean? Okay. This is how I do my videos. You can do the same thing, with your videos. So it's not how to build a course Academy. It's focused on the book itself. But those are things that, because I know how to do them, I always answer whatever questions, people have. But the videos are not, I should be clear though, because the videos are not on like, I don't have videos on how to, you know, how to record the video or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, I had another question. Oh, I'm trying to write them all down. Yeah, I think you might have answered them all because I'll put a big question mark. I still have a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, when you mentioned the freelancer hiring guide, the freelancer hiring guide is if you want to go out and get those things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're doing the full program with you, there's no reason to go outside, right?
It still is, because even within this $29.97, it doesn't include their editing.
It does
It
not
doesn't
include.
actually include their editing or their design. So when people come into the academy, and you know that we're supporting them all throughout this time or whatever, when it comes time to their services that they need, they have a choice, quite frankly. They can either come to us. We have a special package deal that they can come to us and get that done, where we just do that, you know, for them. Or if they want, they can go and hire their own people. Like, it's up to them, you know, whichever way. And I'm actually, like I said, it doesn't really hurt me or bother me either way it goes. Which way they do it, as long as it's still going to be quality work. Yeah. Yeah.
So then okay, when you know how you when we were at the sip and chop, the young lady made her own little cookbook, right?
Yeah,
So
I didn't see it though.
it's cute. It's very nice. I bought one.
Okay.
But like, you don't see a publisher and you don't see, all that information. So this type of self-publishing, this had to be self-publishing, I'm assuming. I didn't think to ask her or anything, but she has an ISBN on it and everything. How can you do that without having a publisher and da da da?
Yeah, we go over all that in the academy. Because you have an option, right? So
that's legal?
huh?
That's legal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You have an option when you're publishing. You have an option that you can set up you can create an LLC, to take over the book royalties and the book things and all of that. Like, that's an option. But the ISBNs, as an author, you can just purchase ISBNs and you can just put them on your material. However, some people in our academy use our ISBNs. So if they want like Book Power Publishing on their thing to have like a more official stamp, if you will, then we're fine with that, because I've already vetted those people. Like, they're not writing about some 50 Shades of Grey or something, that I wouldn't want my name to be on. So they're that's no problem at all for the people who are in our academy. So they have a choice. You have a choice either to come up under Book Power Publishing's name, or if you want, you can start your own publishing company, which is just an LLC with a name, right? And you buy the ISBNs underneath that name. You get two. No, sorry, I forgot. You just buy the ISBNs, which means that your name owns them, and then you put that on the book. But either way it goes,
Okay. I just thought it was very inspiring to see this young lady. I'm like, this kid that wrote a book and I can't figure it out. I thought it was
a cookbook like is I didn't see it. I wish I saw it, but a cookbook is a much easier book to write, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's recipes. It's not like very dense or anything like that, So yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much more time, so
you can ask whatever questions you want to ask. My job, like I tell my students on the things, I set the hours for 90 minutes, but I also don't schedule things immediately after the sessions because people have questions. Like, my job is to answer your questions, so feel free to ask whatever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Does anybody else have any questions? Either around the academy or like, your project or whatever. I just want to make sure you guys are all set and clear. and good to go. Okay, I think we're good then. I think we're
I don't
good.
think you heard me.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right.
This is what I want people to do. Oh, no. Those are questions that she asked me.
Yeah. So so you all did amazing this weekend. I'm so proud of all of the progress that you all have made. You did a lot. Like literally you did about 2 months of work, like squeezed into just 2 days. So you may need like a brain, free time just to kind of like let your brain calm down a little bit, because honestly you did a lot of brain thinking in a short period of time. So you may want to decompress a little bit. I'm just going to say that. And I would love for you all just jump on, just do a quick testimonial about what you got out of this weekend, what you would say to somebody. Don't overthink it. Like, don't be recording 5 times trying to get it perfect. Just flip it around, like say some words and send it to me so I can share for the next one that we're going to do. And those of you who are going to come into the academy, I'll see you on Tuesday. I'll look out, if you have any questions about that, just let me know. We'll see you this week. And then Selwa, for your stuff, you're going to work on your book, and then you'll send some stuff over and we'll go from there with that. All right. So good. Love you all.
Love you
All right.
too, Sister Serena. Sister Serena, can I say mine right here so that like it'll be in this video?
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Thank you. Oh my God. We should do that for everybody. You don't even have to get off. Thank you. That is so smart. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and say yours. And then you too, just stay on. I can just record you right here. My girl can just cut it. Bam. You don't even have to get off and send nothing. Thank you, Tyler. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Wait, hold on.
Yes,
let me stop sharing my screen so it'll be bigger or whatever. Okay. All right, cool. Yep, go ahead. Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, now. Yes.
Okay, so this is Jahada, and I just wanted to thank Sister Serena. This has truly been a blessing. I feel like from from some of her words that we've been led to be together, by God or by the angels or whatever you want to call it, but it didn't happen by chance that we met, and that she mentioned her book writing. I mentioned my book, and what I would like to write as a book, and found out about her program. And then next week, I'm in the program. So I feel like, this didn't happen by chance, for sure. And then from the very first day, it's a 2-week program, a 2-day program. And from the first day, from Sister Serena asking me, why am I here, to now, today, I have a complete, basically, my book would really be done. I just have to do the pages now. But I have done the complete process with her in 2 days. I know what I'm doing. I know the direction I want to go. And I know I have all the support I need if I would like to go ahead and take the next set of trainings with Sister Serena, which I would love to. So I know I've been shown a way to get done my hope and my dream to write this book. And I'm very thankful for all of the insight that she has given me, the confidence that she's given me, and also the push and the, and the bouquet to correct some of my thinking about what I see as something easy to do, but is of great value. I know it's of great value, and she's just driving that home, that we have something great that the world needs to know. And I'm just thankful for that. So thank you, Sister Serena. Jazakallah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Selwa, Alexis, Dr. Alexis. They both got off camera when we said we was gonna do it now.
All right. So
Selwa, you can't come back on camera. You look fine. Okay, yes, thank you.
I can start. No, my son started to do things, so I had to go off camera. He needed my attention. So I'm so happy that I took this course, this 2-day course. From the beginning, when you asked me to join, I knew I was going to get something out of it, because I knew you're a visionary. So I knew I was going to gain so much, And that's what has happened. I gained so much from these 2 days. I feel like this course is going to save me so much time and effort. Not only that, but you have opened up my eyes to so many different things that I could do. You just helped me realize that I've really created something big, something bigger than I was thinking. So you kind of help people think outside the box. So I think that's why people call you a visionary. So I want to thank you for that. And I don't know what else to say because I'm kind of nervous I'm being recorded, but I'm really glad that I attended this course.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you for that. All right, Dr. Alexis. That was a good idea, Jahava. Thank you. I gotta keep her around. She be dropping little things. What's your why? You know, Alexis, then she got the why. So yeah, I like you, Jahava. All right, Dr. Alexis, where you go? Where did you go? Where did you go?
Well, while Dr. Alexis is coming, I wanted to add that what Sister Solo just said, that way bigger. We're thinking kind of small, and Sister Zarina is thinking like on a level you're not imagining. And not only higher level, but so many different things that we could do, opportunities that we could have that she sees immediately without really thinking. They just come naturally to her. Like our gift that we have is natural to us. This gift is obviously a gift because each one of us, and there were 4 of us here, this one left early, but there were 4 of us here, and we all have different ideas, and we all got multiple ways that our idea will help people. So another thing, so you should take the course.
Yay, thank you. All right, Dr. Alexis. Oh, unmute yourself.
Okay. Okay. Because this is a video you're going to show people. So
Yeah, your sound is a little bit messed up. I wonder, is it a phone that you're on?
hold on. Is that better?
I don't
Is
know.
that
Keep
better?
talking. We'll see.
Is that better? Because I had earphones. I was using earphones.
Yeah,
So.
do this way. This way is better.
Okay, so peace and blessings. Anyone who is considering taking this program, let me tell you, this is a program you should take, but you should only take this program if you're serious about writing a book. You don't want to waste the experts' time and your own energy and money taking a program you're not ready for. This program is going to jumpstart you into writing a book. You're going to learn information that people search years to find, and it's all in 2 days. And I recommend this program because the individual that is hosting the program is a trustworthy person and is totally focused on your success. And it's not about her economic or financial gain. It is to help individuals to empower themselves to write books. So I hope that the message that I just left for you let you understand we are real people. We took the program just like you're going to, and we saw the results that we were looking for. Peace and blessing.
Dr. Alexis, one question for you. So
Yeah.
what was like your biggest aha from being in this Jumpstart weekend?
My biggest aha moment was that I actually was able to critique the title and the chapters and zone in on what it was I wanted to do. Like one of the participants asked me why, and I had never thought about that. Why? So I got to understand myself while taking this program. Why, what motivates me and what inspires me to do what I'm doing and to stay focused on that. And that's another aspect of the program. Stay focused on what you want to do.
Awesome. All right, ladies. Thank you all so very much. You all have an amazing weekend. I'm proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. I'm going to say my prayers and I'm going to ask God to bless all of you all. And then you too, like when you say your prayer, add in the other students, you know, add in the other people that you met here that are doing things, because we all need support. We all need support. All right. Have a good day.